watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive and I'm Meghna Deka. Well viewers, one of humanity's oldest and most haunting questions still hangs in the balance. Are we alone in the universe? In the endless vastness of space? Is Earth truly the only world ever touched by life? Well, for decades, the idea of extraterrestrial beings has gripped the human imagination, igniting fierce debate, giving rise to some of the most enduring conspiracy theories of our time, and let's not forget, Hollywood has stepped in and how. But now an explosive post on social media by Donald Trump has sent shockwaves across the world. The U.S. president says that he plans to declassify documents and government files related to extraterrestrial life and unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. Well, if he carries this out, it could mark the first time in history that a government authority officially confirms the existence of aliens. So what's going to be there in these alien UFO files? Well, these will be classified government files which are related to aliens and extraterrestrial life. Unidentified aerial phenomena as well are likely to be part of it, along with unidentified flying objects, or UFOs as they are called, and any other information connected to these matters. Well, President Trump framed it as a response to the tremendous public interest, but Trump has not yet specified exactly which documents are going to be made public or when. Trump also hasn't specified whether any of these documents that remain classified for national security reasons, will they be released to the public or not. But what really prompted and got Trump thinking about taking this big step? Well, let's listen in to what former President Barack Obama had to say on a podcast. Well, for the first time on record, you had an American president coming out and saying, yes, aliens are real. However, he does add a rider that no, I haven't seen either. Watch this viral video. Were there any aliens? Well, I don't blame him. Any one of us wants to have that answer to that question, isn't it? Well, Trump's initial response to Obama's remarks was to sharply criticize him for allegedly revealing classified information before taking to Truth Social to then come out and plan to declassify a range of government documents. Listen in to what President Trump had to say about Obama making that statement that aliens are real, but I haven't seen them.
Aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Well,
he made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information.
Well, you've heard Barack Obama mention Area 51. What is that area? What is this top secret area that Barack Obama has hinted? Well, now let's take you inside what the facility actually is and what it might have evolved into over the past couple of years. You can see bits of what has been doing the rounds on social media. Well, this Area 51 is America's secret alien lab, as per many of the conspiracy theorists. This is a highly classified U.S. military facility, actually. It is located in the depth of Nevada's remote desert. Remember, the entire area is a desert area, very little population, scarcely populated. In the heart of it is Nevada's remote desert, lies this facility of Area 51. Officially, it is being used for aircraft testing, but there are others who are saying there is a whole lot more than that, than what really meets the eye. And it has long been denied by the American government. Successive governments at that have come out and said that no, we are not experimenting on aliens in Area 51, but conspiracy theorists have said, well, there's something cooking there. In 2013, in fact, the CIA documents had confirmed that yes, indeed, Area 51 exists. Before that, there was no confirmation that this actually is there or not, but it does exist. That is official. It has been linked to secret Cold War programs as well. It is central to UFO and alien speculation, as we were just telling you about the conspiracy theories, but it is very heavily guarded. It's got heavy security. It's a restricted airspace as well. So nothing goes in, nothing goes out unless the American government gives the nod for it. There is very little known about Area 51. We just know that it's a big military establishment where people think aliens maybe tested it. Maybe an alien lab. We don't know. Well, for decades, these reports have been coming in of unidentified objects in the sky, which is why there's so much of curiosity about this Area 51. Does it really contain aliens? Are they actually looking into the possibility of extraterrestrial life here on Earth? Do they come visit? What's happening? Or who may be sharing our planet? Well, tonight, we are going to revisit 4 of the most compelling cases, each one of them continuing to challenge official explanations that there is no such thing as aliens. What is it? Well, the first one that we can get for you, there you have it on your screens. The first most famous incident of alien spotting, of UFO spotting, of the possibility of life beyond that of human beings unfolded in a very remote branch in New Mexico. A local rancher there discovered that there is unusual debris scattered across his land. Authorities initially described the find as a flying disc. This is official. They called it a flying disc. The language that appears in the very first line of the report of the official authorities as well, that you'll be able to see before quickly retracting that statement. Alternate theories soon started emerging after this man claimed that he found something, including claims that alien bodies were recovered, however covered up. Well, officials continue to maintain that the incident involved a Cold War era surveillance balloon and it was not actually a UFO. Well, years later, then in rural Oregon, you had 2 clear photographs which were taken in broad daylight. You can see that photograph on your screens. These images appear to show a metallic disc-like, a circular disc-like shaped object hovering silently in the sky. It was captured only seconds apart. The photographs offer rare visual evidence and remain the subject of debate decades later if these were indeed UFOs. Then in March 1997, thousands of residents across Arizona reported seeing massive V-shaped objects. You can see them on your screens. The V-shaped objects started doing the rounds. These objects were silently moving overhead. Witnesses include commercial pilots, there were police officers, other trained observers. They all cited it. They all reported it. The military later attributed these sightings to flares which were released during a training exercise. However, many who witnessed the event strongly dispute that explanation, insisting that the objects were far larger and solid in form. Then again, across in Scotland, there was a single photograph which surfaced years after it was taken. The image shows a large diamond-shaped object which was suspended in the sky. You can see that on your screens as well. In fact, originally it was classified by the UK government. They hid it, they put it in a classified file. The photograph remained hidden for decades. Then it was finally released. Some analysts described it as the clearest UFO image on record. This from the classified files of UK, of the United Kingdoms. And there you have it, the diamond-shaped thing that you can see floating in the air. That's the one that we are talking about. Meanwhile, India too. Well, India also has witnessed encounters of the other kind, and they continue to raise several questions. What may be moving through the skies? In fact, in 1962, near the remote area of Konkala, which is along the India and China border, both Indian as well as Chinese forces reported seeing bright objects hovering in the region. This was followed by accounts coming in of mysterious caves that had appeared in the vicinity and then vanished without any explanation. You can see some of those pictures there on your screens. Some later were identified on Google Maps as well. They were led locals to refer to the entire area as a possible UFO base. That's right. Along the India-China border, a UFO base. Of course, we cannot independently verify, but these are the claims which had been coming in. Then decades later, in 2010, similar questions surfaced far to the south in Bengaluru, where online videos showed bright objects in the night sky with witnesses describing silent hovering movements as well as unusual speed, and no definitive explanation was ever confirmed as to what it was, but these were the sightings in Bengaluru. What were these? Well, we don't know. But perhaps now we may know something. After all, Donald Trump has said that he plans to declassify the documents related to extraterrestrial life of United States archives. This, however, is an interesting one because remember, the Pentagon has always refused that there is any such thing as aliens. In fact, in 2024, Pentagon had filed this report which states that there is no evidence confirming the existence of alien. And what are the findings? We are putting those findings on your screens. Pentagon says that they found no proof in all the cases that they investigated that there was any proof of unidentified aerial phenomena were UFOs. That we don't know if there were UFOs or not. They also said there's no verifiable proof of having recovered any alien bodies or any alien spacecraft. Pentagon also said that there is no proof of any alien reverse engineering programs either. It says that claims of secret alien retrieval programs are completely unsubstantiated, trying to cover it all up. They went a step further because, after all, many asked, if they are not aliens, if these are not UFOs, then what are these? How can you explain this? So the Pentagon report goes on to say that it could be one of these 5 things. First, classified military programs, such as advanced US test aircrafts, drones perhaps, hypersonic or stealth platforms which are still being developed. The personnel, as per the Pentagon, that personnel sometimes mistook these secret programs for unknown aircrafts. Second possible explanation by the Pentagon is that the possibility that these are balloons. What kind of balloons? Spy balloons or even high altitude research balloons. There are weather balloons. Remember the heightened security alarm which had happened in 2023. This after a Chinese spy balloon incident was reported in America. Now these objects could also, as per the Pentagon, be satellites and space debris. For example, Starlink satellite, there are flares or perhaps space junk which is re-entering Earth. That's a possibility as well. Another option that the Pentagon says, optical distortions. Optical distortions from orbital objects is also possible, they say. Well, the Pentagon also claims that radar glitches could explain these unidentified videos, says that it can also explain these objects. Then there is the parallax effects, where objects appear to move faster due to the viewing angle. It's just the angle that you saw it in. It really isn't moving any faster than it was. And nowadays, of course, the Pentagon has emphasized it's increasingly possible that these unidentified flying objects are commercial or hobby drones, that they are difficult to track and often are misidentified by the pilots. But why now? Why is Donald Trump suddenly saying that he is going to declassify the alien files? And could this be an attempt to divert attention away from the challenges facing him and his administration? Because remember, at a time, let's say, that the alien files are released, everyone goes back to the X-Files, keeps thinking about reliving the Scully Mulder days. Everything about the Epstein files may just be forgotten. The 38,000 references to Trump and Mar-a-Lago, dozens of senior Trump officials who've been named in these files, criticism over the redactions as well as the inaction, everything will be forgotten and buried under the X-Files. Also the tariff and the trade war. Remember, the Supreme Court of America has been examining the overstepping of authority of the Republican revolt, which is scrapping duties on China, also has been kicked up. There's record low ratings also could be a possibility, because in America, when it comes to Donald Trump's rating, well, his approval rating is today at 38%, which is down from 41% in the first term of any US president since World War II. There are also cracks within the GOP. Senior Republicans have been slamming racist posts on Obama's, which of course had dished off many dissent over Greenland takeover. Plan which Republicans have been very divided over, and they also want a possible probe into the Fed chair. All of these issues are there that President Trump is battling. Is he trying to bring in the X-Files to cover up these files? Meanwhile, another question that emerges is, why are governments, let's say aliens do exist, let's say UFOs have been spotted, why are governments feeling compelled to keep the possibility of extraterrestrial life hidden from the public? Well, perhaps to prevent public panic and social unrest. perhaps to protect national security and defense capabilities, perhaps to avoid exposing classified technology, also to maintain control of sensitive information, and to avert economic and religious disruptions. These are all in the realm of possibilities, but what we do know is that classified American files on aliens and UFOs may be released by President Trump soon enough. So let me go across to our panelists. Today joining us on the show, we have David Sofair, after quite some time, if I may add, Republican strategist. Also, Manish Purohit is joining us, a former ISRO scientist. David, I'm going to start with you. What's happening? What's going to be released? When is it going to be released? And what will it contain and why now?
First of all, it's great to be on, and it's great to see everybody on the viewers and the panel and everybody. So yeah, so let's unpack this. We are now, the historic files here has been really a point of contention in the United States. There has been a lot of talk since 2017 about getting these files released. We have to see what's going to be released within the files. As far as UFOs go, the definition for a UFO at this point could be a drone, right? So a drone that is not registered to a IP address is now considered and classified a UFO. What they're going to find there, who knows? Is it a deflection for the Epstein files? I really doubt that, as it was Trump's administration who put out the Epstein files in a responsible way while protecting the victims of the files as a historic
when you couldn't avoid it, yes.
So that was very important, which is not really being discussed enough. Our friends, the Democrats, had those files and could have done the same thing, in their 4 years. So they decided not to. So, I don't see this as deflection at all. As far as Obama, what he said was definitely an overreach of classified information. Of course, we agree with that.
Oh, come on, David. Former President Obama said that yes, aliens are real. He never gave out any classified details. President Trump, having criticized President Obama, went on to say he will declassify everything. Isn't that ironical?
Sure. Well, he's declassifying everything in a responsible way, right? So,
okay.
Like how we were speaking about Roswell, that is a government base, right? So that is a government military base, right? So that has a level of security and a level of clearance. So, these are
which is why it is of immense interest to all conspiracy theories.
And that has to be released in a responsible and safe way. But
in a safe way, across a safe platform, perhaps with redactions.
Have many questions.
We know what these redactions have been.
Questions, and hopefully
I'll just come back to you because Manish Purohit needs to be brought in. He is a man of science. He is a former ISRO scientist. And Manish, being a man of science, I'll ask you a straight question. Everyone's wanting to ask, do aliens exist?
Yeah, if you ask science about existence of aliens, then mostly a basic form of organic life, even 80 to 85% of the scientific community will agree to it that yes, there is a possibility that there might be a basic microbial life somewhere existing in this universe. See, the situation that brought life on Earth, there is a possibility that there are billions and billions of stars and galaxies, and there might be a possibility that there is a sun like ours and there are planets like ours, and might be some biosynthesis is going on and life is taking shape. I will give you an example. Recently, there were two reports. One was from the Hayabusa mission of JAXA. They brought some samples from an asteroid Ryugu, and then there was one Odysseus Rex. That was the NASA's mission, and it brought the sample from an asteroid Bennu. And what they found on it were the organic compounds, the material that builds. These are the building blocks of the bigger molecules that give shape to life. One thing. Second, there have been immense scientific research on the water that we have on our planet. It is believed and it has been proven that carbonaceous chondrites, a specific class of meteorites, they are responsible to bring oceans of water on Earth. Now, if we look at that, this means even the life that exists on Earth, it required that basic ingredients to be brought from somewhere outside. Means if it can be happening here, it might have happened somewhere else also. So, is there any intelligent life? No one will say with guarantee, yes, there is. Have anyone communicated with us? Obviously, they will say no, no one has communicated yet. So extraterrestrial life is another thing, but basic organic structures that give shape to life, surely they exist.
So there are building blocks of some kind of a living organism. One would be safe to say somewhere beyond Earth as well. However, if there has been any contact being made, well, we'll have to wait for these X-Files to be released by the American government, because no other government's telling us right now. That's another question. What is in it? And why do successive governments in America have deemed it important not to reveal it? And if there are other governments across the nation, perhaps here in India as well, that these sightings, perhaps a contact, none of that has been reported or released to the public. Well, all we can say is the truth is out there. But will we get to know it? Hopefully so. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Manish Purohit as well as David Sofair for joining us. With that, we wrap up this bulletin. I'll see you again on Monday, 6:30 p.m.